Hi, friends. I'm Nancy Fox.
And I'm Elaine Doran. Welcome to Deep Diving Divas. We are so excited about today's conversation because we're diving into something that touches every single one of us, finding and using our voice with confidence.
That's right, Elaine. Our
Yes.
guest today is Julie Daniels. And Julie's a teacher, a writer, a speaker, and the creator of a fascinating course called Selling Yourself Through Speech. She's passionate about helping people communicate with clarity, confidence, like you said, and power.
Yes. But you know what? She also writes about women in history. She's giving voices to incredible stories that inspire and remind us of our own strength as women. And a fun fact, she's even landed a director for her screenplay, and it's making it to the big time, hopefully.
That's exciting. And we can't wait to hear her journey of wisdom about voice, both literally and figuratively, and how it can shape your life. But Elaine, after her interview, don't go away, everybody, because I'm going to be running into my kitchen to make my favorite meatloaf. Elaine, are you a fan of meatloaf?
A fan of meatloaf. I'm a fan of your meatloaf, Nancy. If you remember, Richard and I were running to your restaurant all the time in Tarzana to get that meatloaf, and the one in Beverly Hills too. So good. And then I started to make it. It's so delicious, Nancy.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that I know, of course, you came into my restaurant, but I didn't know that you guys were fans of.
Oh.
So it's barbecue turkey meatloaf, and I can't wait to share it with all of you. So with that, let's get started.
Yes.
Hey there, friends, it's Nancy and Elaine. They're the Deep Diving Divas, it's quite a name. They're diving deep into the things that matter most, from friendships to family and so much more. Join them each week for a splash of fun.
Welcome, Julie. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks so much for the invite.
Julie,
Hi.
I only recognize you in a bathing cap and goggles because we swim together at the same club. But I have to say that when I first met you and we were talking in the pool and you said to me, you need to project. And I thought, who is this lady? This lady knows her voice. And she does, because she is the voice gal. We're so glad to have you. You are so experienced in so many things. But what I want to talk about today is that I know that you have a course called Selling Yourself Through Speech.
Mm-hmm.
What is that about? And tell us some of the things that you do in that class.
Well, the course, is about finding the joy of your own communication. And that includes dealing with your own fear by relaxation, meditation exercises, diaphragmatic breathing, diction, and articulation. And then I tailor all of those methodologies to whatever specific presentation the client or clients need to work on. So it's a specific tailoring, as I just said, but the exercises tend to be the same for each person that I work with. Maybe some more of here, more of diction over here, more relaxation, depending on the person or people that are in front of me. I like everybody to get a specific experience of how to work on their voice and find the joy in their own way of expression.
Great.
So for Julie, for so many people, they are literally crippled with stage fright. You know, stage fright could be getting up to give a birthday toast or maybe a presentation if you're in real estate or another field. So what kind of practical advice, if somebody is out there listening that is that person, what can they do? What kind of exercises?
Well, first of all, it's to find something to speak about that truly gives you joy and enthusiasm. And sometimes we don't have that luxury in certain jobs. So what I would suggest is, first of all, be kind to yourselves, and find some kind of self-compassion. We have this idealized thing about so many aspects of our lives. We have to be perfect. No, we don't. We just need to be human. We need to be human, and we need to find a way to really enjoy what it is we're doing. And part of that is by relaxation, deep breathing, articulation, read out loud every day. Find something you enjoy reading just as an exercise. The newspaper, your favorite book. What do you enjoy? What brings out the fun and the expressiveness in your own voice? Experiment with that. That's one of the things I work on.
Would you say that it's good for people to maybe use their phone to record themselves or have somebody do it and see what they know?
I think it's a great tool, because if you can hear it, you can fix it. So you listen back and you go, oh, I don't like that. How do I fix it? I need to have a richer voice. How do I get that? I do it by learning how to breathe from my belly. I can't understand what I listen to myself. Somebody listens to themselves and they say, I can't really understand that. That's a clue to work on your diction. How do you work on diction? Reading aloud. Find a place that's private if you can. And then you can really explore the fun of sound. How does it sound when I say t and b and p and g? So those are some fun things to do that can really increase confidence.
Well, speaking of confidence, I don't know, you can tell me if this is fact or fiction, but many women feel like their voice is not heard by men. And please don't all scream out at me, they're the men that are listening, but men don't always listen carefully anyway. But, in meetings, in business, in personal life, whatever it is, there seems to be sometimes this communication issue. What do you suggest for women to do so that they feel that their voice can be heard in professional and in personal life?
Well, that's a deep question that you've asked me. It's a cultural problem. It's been going on for millenniums about the devaluation of women. So in order to ameliorate that somewhat personally for yourselves, what you need to do is, first of all, I'm going to go back to it again and again. Compassion for yourselves, compassion for this crazy misogynistic culture in many ways that devalues us. How do we walk through it? We recognize it. We lift the cover off it and say, this is what it is. Now, how do I go out into the world knowing what it is and being confident? Again, it's by practicing these exercises about reading things that elevate you, give you joy. Delve into your own curiosity. What do you like to read? What do you like to study? What do you like to watch that's affirming? That's life affirming. And when you put those pieces together, you feel better. And when you feel better, you express more effectively. So we see the culture, we know what it is, and then we better know how to deal with it when we start watching and listening to things, to podcasts, to watching films and reading books that elevate us.
Like Deep Diving Divas.
Deep Diving Divas, right. It makes you feel better. And when you feel better, then you express with joy.
I mean, does that mean that women should talk louder? Because what starts to happen is when you start to talk louder, men take that as getting bossy, or getting mad or getting angry because they have to compete with people who have lower voices and they're louder. They're usually bigger. And so it's an interesting thing, I think, for women sometimes.
It is.
Julie, what about posture? Because I think, yes, part of it's, projecting your voice, but I mean, to show confidence, if you sit up straight, if you stand up straight and you really project your voice, I think that's commanding it, whether you're a man or a woman.
Right. And you have to risk not being liked when you speak from your authentic self. You have to risk that. Some people may go, I don't like what she said, or I don't like the way she said it. Thanks for sharing. I'm still going to be myself.
Yeah. So, Julie, of all the students that you've had over the years and these great workshops that you do in LA, what has been the biggest transformation that you've seen maybe with one student?
Well, I've had many, thankfully. And what I remember from a recent experience is this young guy coming over to me and saying, I can speak now because of my work in your class. He was so frightened to express anything at the very beginning of our work together. And because of him going through the process, he became more confident. He became the highest part of himself.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. What I did is I facilitated an atmosphere where he could feel safe. And when people feel safe, then they can express and be creative. So I'm a facilitator. I can give you all these different exercises. And by the way, I think one of the best things to do is watch the film, The King's Speech.
Why
yes.
It's an inspiring film. It's such a lovely, uplifting, poignant film that really talks about, really addresses fear and having a person in your life that can walk you through that. No teacher or coach can do anything for you, but what they can do is listen.
And give that confidence.
And it's the listening that helps a person feel safe. And then they can really express and be who they are. So yes, all these exercises are great, but it's the safety where creativity can really flourish.
I think probably too, when people are speaking, like we've said in acting, those of us who've been doing acting, visualize, you can look at somebody out in the audience or in a group or in a meeting or around a table and imagine it's somebody that you really makes you feel good and is secure. Yeah. It could be a friend, and look at them and just imagine you're talking to them and having a conversation. And that might ease some of your fears. So if there is
connection with your audience, we play off of each other. Even if we're not actors, we still play off of the energy in a room, whether it's a large group or just one-on-one. It's responsiveness and listening.
Yeah, listening is so important. Well, talking about confidence, you have taken on one of your main kind of goals or passion is writing about women in history. And you have some very exciting projects. Some of them are getting up to the big wigs up there.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Tell us the particular project you're working on in this woman, a little bit of that project.
Sure. I have a screenplay called Healer's Walk, and it's about a Black woman named Biddy Mason, who in the 1840s walked as a slave behind her master's wagon. She walked from Georgia to Los Angeles to win freedom. Isn't that wild? That's 2,500 miles. And along the way, she made medicines from plants. So she was a true healer. She stupefied the white doctors of the time because she could dig into the earth, and her knowledge from her own African ancestors gave her the knowledge to make these medicines from plants. So she would heal people who were traveling with her. It's quite an astounding story. It's based on a true story, and I've dramatized this. I've dramatized this incredible heroine's life, and it's been my honor.
For those of us that are Angelinos, she's very special in our city. That's why
she became one of the wealthiest women in Los Angeles history.
Wow!
Because when she did get her freedom, in addition to her healing, and in addition to her starting the first AME church in LA, she bought and sold real estate and became very, very wealthy.
Do you have any record of her presence around people? Was she charismatic? What was it about her that she was able to get these things? I mean, do you feel like she maybe had some of the traits you're talking about? Confident, not fearful?
I think she knew herself spiritually. I mean, there's nothing more dehumanizing than slavery. So how do you literally walk through that? But I think it was her spiritual connection and her devotion to something higher than the ego self that enabled her to truly heal other people, and in so doing, healed herself.
Incredible. It's going to be extraordinary, and we can't wait for you to make it. So, and make it happen. We can't wait. Julie, before we close,
Sure.
For people that are out there today, starting today or tomorrow, what can people do to get more confidence in their voice and get to be heard?
Sit in a chair really tall, your feet on the floor. Grab your right hand, put it right above your belly button where your diaphragm is, and start to breathe right from here. Shoulders are down, and breathing in and breathing out. That immediately calms the body down, and it signals that you understand that the breath is originating from that area. It does automatically, but because of the stress and tension in our world, we forget where to breathe from. We forget actually to reconnect to where your breath originates. And it's down here in your diaphragm.
Interesting.
And then you put your other hand, your other palm over your heart center, and know that all creativity and kind, powerful expression comes from the heart. So we connect these two centers. We connect them.
Oh, that's fabulous. All right. Perfect way to close. How can people find you, Julie?
Well, I'll give you 3 ways to find me. One is my cell. You can call me at 818-590-7077. You can call me or text me. You can email me at voicegal@aol.com. V as in victory. OICEGAL @AOL. And you can also look at my website. It's teachspeech.com. And teach is spelled with 2 E's. So it's TEECH speech, SPEECH.com. So one of the 3 ways. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely. Julie, thank you so much for taking, the time to join us. Really great stuff.
You remind us. It's so interesting because we think that we're breathing. People think they're breathing through their nose. You're breathing, or your mouth. But once again, to breathe from your diaphragm. And I think these simple tips. And maybe some of these are on your website. It's been wonderful. It's a great experience. You have, inspired us all to find the joy in our voice.
Joy. That's why we're here.
Yes.
To be of service with joy.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody. Making my family's all-time favorite skinny meatloaf, but it's got a twist. It's barbecue turkey meatloaf. Actually, when I had my restaurant, Nancy South the Kitchen, it was the most popular entree on the menu. So let's get started. I have ground turkey, but you can also use beef. If you do, I like grass-fed. Don't use 99% because it's too dry. Add the 93%. You'll see how we're going to make it so that all the fat's going to ooze out. Next, we're going to add onions, cup of onions, and some breadcrumbs. I don't really store breadcrumbs. I don't know about you in my cupboard very often. So literally in seconds, put a slice of your favorite bread. I use Milton's multigrain in my blender. Boom. Breadcrumbs. How easy is that? And then we're going to do a little bit of Worcestershire, which adds even better flavor with barbecue. 2 tablespoons. And then we'll just add a little bit of sea salt and some pepper to taste. And then we're ready to go. Now, I've got nails, and I don't really like when the meatloaf raw, turkey meat gets in my fingernails, so I'm using the old-fashioned gloves. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but I highly suggest you wash your hands well. If you don't use gloves, you can mix it around with this, but I'm going in. So I'm going to mush together all the ingredients, get it really, really blended well. I can already smell. I didn't tell you I used my favorite barbecue sauce, which is Sweet Baby Ray's, but use any one that you like. And there's even some sugar-free options out there. Now, here's another skinny tip. Don't form it the way your mom or grandma taught you how in a loaf pan. All the fat stays in the pan when you are baking it. And so a lot of people say, oh, I don't really like meatloaf. It gives me indigestion. Well, if you form it this way, I line the cookie sheet with parchment paper or foil, and you form it to be about 12 inches long and about 3 to 4 inches wide. So you just keep forming it. And last, I'm going to add some more barbecue sauce. So you're going to top it. Ooh, so good. And then you roll it around. Rubber spatulas are my friend. I get them at the dollar store, and they're good for a multitude of recipes. And this is one of them. Now take off my gloves. And a cleanup is going to be a breeze. Ready for the oven. Okay, it's ready. Look at this meatloaf. And I want you to notice all the fat that oozed out of the meatloaf. So it's not going to be in your tummy. I've cooled it a little bit, but now I'm going to slice it into 12 slices. So I usually cut it in half again, and cut it. So it's really 4 servings. Okay, I've plated it, and as you can see, 12 beautiful slices. Now, a little trick, it's better if you let it cool first, or even make it the day before, because it's so moist that it's a little tricky to slice. But it freezes great. A serving of 3 slices is only 252 calories. And I like to serve it with a baked potato or a skinny mashed potato and lots of veggies. Bon appetito. Okay, I'm back. Elaine, I know you love this meatloaf, but did it inspire you to want to make it at home?
Nancy, we have been making it at home, and it is fabulous. And it's
I didn't know that.
So I can't wait till you share it with everybody, because they're going to make it all the time now.
Like I said, it's really user-friendly. You saw the ingredients. You put it together. You do my little skinny tip where you don't make it the way Grandma taught you in the old-fashioned pan, but you let all the fat ooze out. It's heavenly. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to reach us, we're on all the socials at Deep Diving Divas. Plus, you can email us, the Deep Diving Divas at gmail.com. And if you want to hear us on our podcasts, of course, you're listening or watching us here. We're on both YouTube and all the podcast networks at Deep Diving Divas. That's a mouthful. I'm ready to dive into the meatloaf.
Oh, yes, that is a mouthful. Meatloaf can't wait.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody best. Bye-bye.